Hi everyone, I am trying something a bit new today, so it's quite exciting. Now, I've got my Daydreams book by Hanna Karlzon because I've been asked to demonstrate some watercolours. Now, I have only used watercolour pencils once or twice, but I thought I would have a go. Now, this is my husband's set of watercolour pencils. They're Staedtler Karat. There are 60 pencils in the set. I have used them, as I say, a couple of times before. So it's just going to be a matter of colouring with the pencils and then trying some water. Now, I'm a bit scared of using water in most books, but I have seen a lot of people do watercolour in Hannah's book. So, and the paper is really good. But what I have done is I have decided to do this very first picture here on the front, and there is nothing behind it, so if it goes through it makes a mess. And I've got a piece of laminate paper behind as waterproofing as well, because I'm a bit nervous about what's going to happen. I'm just going to put the book under the pencils and just open up the trays. Now, he has also lent me this special water brush to activate the pencils. This is a Caran d'Ache. Now, I said to him, the problem with doing watercolours, I've been asked to do them, I'm really scared because I can't use a paintbrush, and he said this will work. And this has got a nib which looks like a pen. It doesn't splay out or anything, and it's just got a barrel of water. So I will find a link for this for any of you that are interested. I shall ask him where he got it. And so I'm quite excited to have a go. So we're going to just start, colour the mushroom, toadstool, whatever it is, and then activate it gently. Now, the light's a bit odd in here today, but there we go. It's pouring through the window, the light. I can't see my screen very well. There we go. Okay, I quite like doing red mushrooms, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to have a little look at the colour selection in this particular set of pencils, because I've got no idea what to expect. That looks quite pink. They've not been swatched or anything. That's definitely an orangey red. We'll try this first. Now, they don't have names, these ones, but they do have a number. So in the typical Staedtler, they just have a number, so this is number 2. But this is a dark, this is sort of orangey red, which I want to try for the sort of main part of the top of the mushroom. I'm just giving it a sharpen. And what I think I'm going to do is just move across and do a little bit of a darker bit on each end. That's quite orangey, isn't it? We can maybe put some red on top. I'm going to lay it on quite heavily. This paper is really nice with these pencils. Now, sometimes I find that what are the pencils I use? Oh, Inktense. I use Derwent Inktense. I've got 2 open stock ones that I bought by mistake when I went to my art shop, and I said to her, are these, because obviously you pick them up, you don't really know what they are, do you, the Inktense? They're a bit different to anything else. And I said to the lady in the art shop, are these watercolour pencils, or are they just normal pencils? And she said, oh, they're waterproof. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll try these. Of course, they weren't what I expected. This is number 24. And what I'm going to do is just overlap a little bit where I started to fade and take that colour towards the middle. So I'm just building up the colour in exactly the same way that I would if I was not wetting the pencil. So you could follow along with me here with a normal, what should we say, a dry pencil, and it would work. Obviously, I wouldn't know what colours, because I don't know if these numbers correspond to any other Staedtler sets, non-watercolour sets. I really don't know. I don't quite know how their numbering works, but as you can see, it's just a slightly lighter orangey red. So if you were using your ergos, you could do you know, follow down through the colours in your tray. If they're in colour order, it's quite easy to just go to the next lightest one. So anyway, so I tried the Inktense, and I found them very sticky to apply to the paper. I think I was pressing too hard. I really didn't know what I was doing. So this is quite an orange, look, a lighter orange, and it is number 4. Okay, it's a lot of shadow today. I'm wondering if I'm better off without my light. I think that looks a better colour. I think the paper looks whiter. I'm going to try it. So again, I'm going over where I started to fade because I want quite a thick layer down. I don't know what to expect when I wet them, whether they're going to become more vibrant or just smoother or what. So I'm just gonna see. And obviously, where I have seen, I say obviously, where I have personally seen the prettiest use of watercolour pencils is for backgrounds, and they look so good. But I'm just playing because, you know, these are new to me. So I thought I would just keep it to something quite small. That'll be fun. So I'm just fading it quite a lot towards the centre there. The display on my camera is got something right over the top, so I can't see what I'm actually, can't see the top of it at all. Okay, the next one is number 42. There's a 42 in the Ergosoft, definitely. I don't know if it corresponds, I'm sure it's an orange, so maybe they do correspond with the numbers. There's a 2 as well, isn't there? I have got my Ergos next to me. I could have a look in a minute. Oh, I snapped the end. Now I don't know, as a novice, what's going to happen when I activate this with regards to the black print on this page. Would it smudge into this? Is it waterproof? No idea. I'm assuming it's okay because I've seen so many people use watercolour in their Hanna Karlzon books. Secondly, what do I do with these blobs? Do I colour them first or do I wet the rest and colour them later? I think I'm going to colour them later because I think if I decided that I might do them darker rather than lighter. I often do these white. I could use a paint pen and just do them white. But I'm thinking I'll leave them and should we just wet this and see what happens? Let's do that. So here's the pen again. So it's Caran d'Ache. It just says brush with water reservoir fibre tipped. Okay, so here it is. And I think the best way with this is to go from dark to light. So I'm going to start here. Now something I don't have is anything to clean the tip of my brush off with, which I'm going to have to run off and get. I can't even see. It doesn't look like there's any water coming out, but the tip of the brush is going orange. I don't know if you can see that. So for me, I'm not seeing any advantage in wetting that whatsoever, which is quite interesting. Maybe I haven't put the pencil on thick enough. Maybe the paper is just so good it doesn't need wetting. I don't know, I'm just going over it again. I'm pretty sure that black line isn't moving. I think I'll just scribble that on my pad. It's staining the end. Stain my husband's pen. So there is that. I think I'm going to do those little dots in the brown. Actually, I'm really nosy. I'm just going to find my Ergosoft and see if the numbers are the same. Just then, if you want to colour along with your Ergosoft, you can check. So the orange, yeah, see that's 24. Okay, oops. And that's 24. So it looks like the colours do match up. And there's a 2. And there's a 2. So yes, so if you're using your... we don't have all the colours, I don't think. We have the 4. And we have the 42. So we actually do have all of those. But I don't think we'll have all of them because I've only got a 36 set, as you can see. Obviously Ergosofts only come in a 36. These Aquarelles are more than that. I'm not sure, there's 2 trays, I can't remember. I did show you at the beginning, but I can't remember. So those all line up with the ergos. So if you want to colour along with your ergos, you absolutely can. There we go. Now, as I say, I'm going to do these dots, and I think I'm just going to use a dark brown. We have got a number 76. There's definitely a 76 in the ergos, dark brown. So you can use that if you're colouring along with those. And I'm just going to do them quite solid, I think. But I'm going to put quite a bit down because I think I might see more of an impact when I wet it. I don't know. There we go. And I'm just going to wet it just because I can. I don't think it even looks like it needs it, really. Something I haven't done is checked behind to see what's going on with the paper behind. I'm wondering if any water's coming out of this pen. Do I have to squeeze it? It's got a button, it says push on it. Maybe I should have done that. I don't know how to use it. I know what I'm going to do. Bear with me. Right, I'm going to use this. I know this is wet. It works. It's going to produce moisture. Now that is definitely working. So I don't think I wetted it with that pen. That has pushed all the colour down into the tooth of the paper, which you would expect it to do even with a normal coloured pencil, not a watercolour. But it's also added vibrancy, I think. There we go. And I'm going to do those circles. That's much better. So I think I haven't got the liquid coming out of that pen. So I shall have to... I'm just scribbling this on some scrap because it's the end. It picks up the colour. We don't want it in the next bit. So that is that. I'm just going to brush it. Got a little... There we go. Now I'm going to turn over. I can see a little bit of ghosting. I'll show you at the end. It'll be easier because I don't want to move everything. Oops, bang. Right, let's do some underneath of our... I quite like doing brownie greys. We've got a fair selection of greys. We've got some really small light ones, but I also like a bit of brown. So what I'm going to do is do a bit of a mix. I'm going to stick with this brown, I think, the number 76 firstly. Now under here, look, we're going to have a lot of shadow around from the cap. Is that the right word? Around here. So I'm going to put a bit of shadow all around there. And under the skirty bit. I know it's not gold that. Like that. Now Hannah has put some bits of dots here and here as if she wants us to do some shading, so I'm just going to and put a bit down there like that, just copying it. Why not? She's the expert. Let's use her guide. Now I want a sort of browny grey. I'm just going to swatch this one. Not really. That's it. The other one I swatched was sort of purpley, which isn't what I wanted. I want a sort of browny one next. So this is number 85. I can't remember what the ergo greys are, but it would be, you would want to take the darkest grey if you're colouring on with ergos. I'm going to go over the top of what I've done because I want it to sort of blend in nicely, and then just extend that out and get it lighter as I go. Now what I think, because we're activating these with water, we want a fairly good layer. I'm not going to just fade it and leave it, because I could just fade it like that and not do any more. I'm actually going to use a lighter pencil on top so that I get a sort of even amount of pencil coverage. I'm guessing that might be a better way to go. I really don't know. I'm just muddling along. I've done one watercolour pencil tutorial, which was fantastic, but it was ages ago. So I'm just, as I say, muddling along and seeing how it all works and seeing what effect we can get. As I say, I'd love to try a background with some sort of beautiful details, but we're not at that stage yet. So I'm just fading that as I go in, and I think on this skirty bit I might put some darker bits around some of these lines like that, and then I want to go for a lighter but brownish grey. I think that one will do. I'm just swatching these as I go. This is sort of smoky grey, which will do. I don't want a silvery grey or a purpley grey. So this one I've chosen is 805. That's quite a different number, isn't it? It's really funny. Why suddenly have we gone into the hundreds? So I'm going to finish this bit off. So just go over the bit. Oh, the sun's going in. Is it going to be light enough for you to see? It's back out. That's okay. Okay. Hang on. Let's put my light on a bit so that I don't have to worry about the sun, meaning that you can't see. I think it's supposed to be sunny today, but you can never trust the UK weather. So a layer of this, it's actually quite pale, isn't it? I'm going to make it a bit dark on the bits that I think might be sort of edges all dipped in. So darker in there and along the edge of this bit. And then maybe all the way along the top a bit more. And then this bit all the way over again. And then taking it into the middle. Excuse me, I don't know where my voice went then. Now I'm assuming that the technique would be similar for any brand of watercolour pencils, but I really would have no idea. So I'm going to use the blender pen again. If you had a proper water pen which you knew how to use, then I was sure, excuse me, sorry, I'm just wiping my nose, I'm sure it will work brilliantly. I'm going to just try this on this rough paper. Do I have to push the button as I go? There's an air bubble going up the pen. Ah, there we go. I don't know if I have to, here, I'm just going to try it again. So you can see it's wet now. It's definitely working. Now one thing I would advise with any colouring book is to try it on a test area first with the wet pen in case it does smudge the black ink, because that would be a nightmare, wouldn't it? I assume most of them are waterproof ink, but you never know. Now what I'm trying to do here is do the dark bits first, the bits where I had some brown, and then slowly put it into the middle. Now it's got a bit of a liney look, which I'm quite fond of for the mushroom. I missed a bit there. There we go. So it looks like what I had to do was I pushed this button in here really hard and I saw an air bubble through there, and so then it had wetted the end. So I'm assuming every so often I might have to push that, but I'm not 100% sure, but it obviously worked. You can see that that worked, so that's good. What I'm going to do now is under each of these little blobs on the top here, I'd like there to be a little bit of shadow in a dark colour. Oops. So I'm going to try to get the black out of the tin, give it a sharpen and try and add that in. This is number 9. Okay. And I'm pretty sure it's the darkest black. I'm just going to extend the line that's already drawn under here with this black. I'll sort of ignore that one that's sort of overlapping from the other side. just drawing it underneath. Now it won't look massively effective yet. Whoops. Because what we need to do is to put some light on the top of each one. Now I have heard that if you wet certain watercolour pencils, you can use them as if you would use like a white jelly roll, but that's the sparkly pen. I don't want that. It's pretty, but it's not what I want. What have I got there? I think this will probably, I could do the thinnest one. Yeah, this is the Jelly Roll 05. I'm going to use this really thin pen. And on the top of each of the little circles, just get it going on my rough, there we go, scrap paper, rough paper. Just do a little white bit. And I'm hoping it will make it look slightly more like it's sort of catching the light. There we go. Yeah, that looks better. Quite fond of that. Okay. Now, this isn't particularly smooth. You could smooth it out. You could put another layer of pencil on and have another go. And I'm actually going to do that because I think these edges aren't dark enough for me. So I'm going to go back in with the number 76 and layer up this brown on the edge because I would like that to look a lot darker. Now with the watercolour pencils you can do this and then not activate this. You know, you can do dry pencil on top, and I could use ergos or anything on top of this if I wanted, but you know, it's sorry, I'm concentrating. It's up to you really. You know, you can wet it again. Now that still isn't dark enough. I'm going to grab some of this black, number 9. Excuse me. The reason I'm not going for that's the darkest brown, I think, or one of the darkest browns. The reason I'm not going for the greys is because the darker greys are purpley. They're like a Payne's grey, and it's not what I'm looking for. I want a browny, warm grey, not a purpley grey. And this grey is quite orangey, which I think is good. Okay, so that's better. For me, that looks more like it's shaped. And I'm going to go again with another layer of this grey, the 85. I think I could have put it on this thickly to start with, but I was a bit pensive, you know, doing it for the first time. But we'll and then the lightest grey, 805 in the middle. Oh, I can see pencil flaking off there. Now I'm going to activate it again. I'm going to use the water. And again, start in the darkest areas. See, that almost takes it off, which is interesting. It's sort of almost like it's washing it off. Maybe I'm using the wrong technique. There, that's better. But as I said, it's all new to me, and now it's looking streaky and stripy again, which is really interesting. I'm going to try and eliminate that, but I don't know how. Just going to keep going over it, moving it. Maybe that's what paint looks like. It's a lot darker. It's a bit too dark in the middle now for my liking. I'm just going to scribble with that brush, get off the... I can take some off. Look at that. That's better. Right, I'm going to stop fiddling with it now and leave it. And I'm just cleaning the nib of the brush off on my rough paper. And I'm going to move the book so that we can see the back of the page. I've just got to make myself a little bit of room. So there we are. There's the back. You can see a little bit of marking here. Maybe the tiniest bit around there, but it's really, really very little. And if you think how much we went over, I think that's really good. So there we are. Whoops. Oh, it's back into focus now. Sorry. So there is the little mushroom. I think he's quite cool. I'm quite happy with him. I've gone out of the lines a bit, as I always do. We've got a bit of debris around him. There we go. But generally, yeah. And it's interesting how it has pushed the colour down. It's quite vibrant, I think, compared to what it would have been had I just used the Ergosoft pencils. I would have had to really lay it up to get it that vibrant. But that might be more to do with the pencil than the fact that it's watercolour, if that makes sense. Maybe they are just more vibrant. I really don't know. But there we go. That was a little experiment. So as I say, I'm completely inexperienced. I'm just guessing. So if you want a proper watercolour tutorial, you're going to have to find someone who knows what they're doing. But you know, I had fun, and I'm pleased with the result, so that's sort of the main thing, isn't it? But thank you for watching me having a bit of messy fun, and I may or may not do more. Let me know if you want more. I mean, I've only got this one set of pencils. I'm probably not going to buy more. So you know, and I really want to experiment and do a background with them, but I'm a bit scared at the moment, so we'll see whether I decide to or not. I need to get that technique better with the texture and stuff, but I sort of got there, but you know, I'm not sure. I have to talk to the husband, get some lessons. I should get him to do a video, shouldn't I? Yeah, anyway, we'll see. I bet he won't, but you know, he has done a couple of videos and they linked to from my homepage, but I think they're drawing, not, I can't remember. It's a long time ago. Anyway, that's me. I'm going to stop waffling, but thank you for watching, and I hope you have a really lovely day and happy colouring.